So a new poll reveals the majority of Democrats apparently don't believe America is the greatest country on earth. Now, I beg to differ. So I took the question to the American people in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here's what they had to say. Watch. So there was a new poll done by Democrats that say America is not the greatest country. What do you think the greatest country is?
America is.
Why do you think America is the greatest country?
Because of our freedom.
Do you think America is the greatest country?
Yes, I do.
And why do you think it's the greatest country?
Well, founded on Christian principles and founded on freedom.
Do you think America is the greatest country?
America is the greatest country.
Why do you think so?
Because we have the freedom here. Our history is based on that. People came here from other countries to get that freedom, that religious freedom that they could have here in America.
I think the opinions and the American dream's amazing. I just think the politics are messed up.
Do you think America is the greatest country?
I do, absolutely. So thankful.
You can prosper in the United States, you can do whatever. The sky's the limit.
We have to fight to keep that freedom and keep what America stands for.
How do you think America is the greatest country?
Because I like the American dream. The whole entire idea of it's freaking amazing.
That's what I'm talking about. Smart kid right there. Let's bring in our panel for Reaction Radio show host, Tony Katz, and former Biden surrogate, Kevin Wallen. Gentlemen, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. So, Kevin, I know you love this country. I do. I'm sure you agree that we got a lot of things to work on, but it's still the greatest country. What's going on with your party?
Well, Lawrence, I love that interview that you had with so many folks across Pittsburgh. And the two key things they zeroed in on are freedom and the American dream. And I think for a lot of people in this country, they're struggling with notions of the American dream and achieving that. And it's disheartening to see that polling data out. Now, I will say in the poll, you say, are we the greatest country or are we great? And 93% of Republicans say we're either the greatest or great, and 92% of Democrats think we're either the greatest or great. So I think there is bipartisan consensus that this is a great nation. I'm in the latter camp. I think this is the greatest nation the world has ever known, and we got to make sure we help other people feel that same way with regards to this country. Well, I guess, Tony, the one fatal error they made in this poll is they didn't ask the respondents to say, well, then, if it's not America, then what is the greatest country then?
Well, I don't know which answer they would give. They could give.
Barbados is pretty nice.
They could give an answer based on some Bernie Sanders nonsense about what he thinks about nations in Scandinavia. I think the conversation here is if you have a political party that is constantly bemoaning America, constantly saying America is colonial or imperialist, constantly saying America is bigoted or racist, how do you expect people to think that America is great to begin with? If we were to take a look at the university system, we send our kids to college to make them better people, but the college has this captive audience that tells them that America is bad, that America is xenophobic, that America is bigoted. And if you're a student who tries to speak out, you're not going to pass that class. You have a lot of that has now permeated society. It is a serious, serious issue, and it comes from, no matter what Kevin says, and I'm glad he loves the country, I don't doubt it for a second, the progressives within the party don't. And that is shown every single day and in every single way. All right, gentlemen, I got to switch gears with you because the Republicans have a new plan. We got the exclusive interview yesterday about their commitment to America. Take a look.
We want to be upfront with the American public. We want an election to have a contrast. If they put their trust in us, this is exactly what we'll do. Hold our feet to the fire. And on the very first day, we're going to repeal 87,000 IRS agents. So they're not going after you. We work for you.
This commitment to America is focused on solving those issues on behalf of the American people, reining in inflation, fixing the supply chain crisis.
In the commitment to America, we talk about making communities safe again, an America that's safe, because, frankly, it's out of control right now in so many big cities, because whether it's Joe Biden, Speaker Pelosi, they've pushed these policies that have not only defunded the police, but now they're embracing cashless bail. They're embracing the policies that are making our communities less safe. It's not just at the border. It's in every big city in America, and it bleeds out into other communities. We've got to reverse that trend.
So, Kevin, this is the plan that they're putting up: inflation, crime, talk about the border and stuff like that. I also looked at the Democrats' plan, and when you look at the plan, you got to look at where they're spending their money with the ads being bought. They're going to focus on abortion, abortion, abortion. Is that the issue for Democrats, abortion, not the economy, not crime, not the border?
Well, Lawrence, we've been talking about this for a while. I've been saying that it is absolutely going to be the economy and the state of inflation in this country. But you look at the plan that they released this past week in Pennsylvania. It's got a lot of platitudes. I want to bring down inflation as well. I want to solve the crime crisis. But what are the next lines? How are you going to actually do it? It's a plan that fits on a sheet of paper without any details. And you compare that to Democrats that are actually increasing funding, for example, for police in a bill that just passed the House of Representatives by Democratic votes this past week. We are tackling these issues head on as Democrats, and Republicans are just holding up a sheet of paper saying these are what we want to do without any policy prescriptions. That is where governing is, and we'll see in just 6 weeks where Americans stand when it comes to that.
Tony, you said, wow. I read your lips, brother.
Yeah, well, I don't like to interrupt. Saying that you're solving a problem is different than whether or not you're the party that is engaged in the problem. You're the party of defund the police, and no amount of words has changed how that has impacted America. One of the things that this commitment conversation has is about 200,000 more police officers. Never mind the conversation about prosecutors all across the country, including in my beloved Indianapolis, who aren't doing the job. Earlier, Lawrence, you were talking to Raymond Arroyo and Tyrus about the problems in New Orleans, which is now the murder capital of America. And that whole conversation was about the need for cops on the street and how police officers are being hamstrung by the federal government. So while the political left may be saying, look at all we're doing, America is saying, yeah, but look at all you're doing. It doesn't match up. And that's why so much of America is seriously considering making a change in the midterms.
Spirited conversation, gentlemen. You know, cross-country
always is with Tony.
You know, cross country is going to be on the road, following us every step of the way. Thank y'all so much.
We're with